Welcome to the virtual guided tour of the innovation showcases for today. Today I'm going to do it a little bit faster than yesterday so that you can have the time to make the virtual showcases as well. But I'll start off here with Signe Lund Mathisen from the University in Aarhus. She's doing a coffee experiment, and you can do it at home also if you like to. I presented you with a link to a questionnaire. So try it out. But I'll ask Signe first what the sustainability aspects of this is.
Yeah, so depending on if you read the abstract that we submitted, you will know that we are working with coffee. And right now, the climate change has climate changes that we are facing right now also have a big impact on coffee production worldwide. So the coffee plant in itself is actually a little bit challenged by these. So we might not be able to have the coffee that we know and like forever. And maybe we need to look closer into the production of the coffee itself. So go to the farms and look for more sustainable practices. This is more of an experience project where we then try to take a sustainable look at how we can make coffee drinking a multisensory experience to make it more more pleasant and more engaging. Looking at the coffee producer and the treatment of the coffee after its production, because it might not be what you are familiar with.
So what should they do if the participants wants to try it out?
So if you open the questionnaire that you've been sent a link to, you should, one of the first questions is if you write down how you prepared your coffee, as many details as you can think of, like the ratio of coffee grounds to water, the temperature of the water, the kind of water. Do you use filtered water or do you just use tap water? What brewing method? There'll be other questions then on how you drink and perceive your coffee flavor. So you are doing a different version from the people here. They are getting the same coffee. All of our participants here will be getting the same coffee, and it's naturally a different coffee than you will have. So we are doing two separate things at once. So we really look forward to seeing the responses that we get from all people.
Are you trying to get a coffeeholic like me to drink less coffee and better coffee?
In short, yes. But we are more looking into changing people's perception of coffee and what coffee experiences can be. By maybe shifting people's attention towards other aspects of coffee than maybe just the quick pick-me-up part of the coffee experience.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll leave you to have some guests here, and I hope you can find the time at home to try it out for yourselves. You can see the contribution that Signe just talked about on the Creative Tastebuds website. It's under the tab Contributions. You should go to creativetastebuds.dk and it will be there if you wish to know more. Thank you, Signe.
You're welcome.
And now for something completely different, I think. I'm just going to have to take care of my head because it's in a narrow entrance here. In here is Lærke.
Yes, hi.
I'll just explain to you what we see around here. It's a photo exhibition. And Lærke, what does it show?
It's a data visualization of a small research kind of we have done. We are all designers who've made it that are explaining our corona food habits. So we researched how did people react during the lockdown, how did their food habits change, and if they made any new habits. And then some of them did, and then we turned them into these 8 photographs.
Could we take a photograph and you can explain to me what you found out and how you visualized it?
Yes, of course, that would be easy. We can take the corner down here, where we have 2 of our most biggest findings, which were, of course, the Zoom drinking, a completely new eating habit or drinking habit in our everyday lives, and then the extreme increase in our takeaway consumption. Yeah, so it was all about takeout, takeout, takeout. The reason why these photos are all monochrome and have repetitive patterns are because we wanted them to represent this monotony we've all been in during lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one is in blue colors, and the other one is red, and there's a pink one over here. And what's with this one?
So the pink one is all about snacking. We realized that a lot of people increased the level of snacking. Actually, snacking sometimes took place instead of a regular lunch or a regular breakfast. So we just snacked. But actually, we could also see that half of the people who answered our questionnaire had a change in their eating habits towards the more healthy side. So that's why the green one is over there. That's the healthy one.
Okay, let's go and take a look. Oh yeah, a lot of greens there, herbs, kiwi, grapes. So what's the, and it leads me to ask, what's your sustainability aspect of this?
Our sustainable aspect of it is for sure social sustainability, which is all about understanding our eating culture and how we all get together, especially as designers. That's important to understand trends and food habits. So that's what we've been investigating. Yeah. Then also, when you're asking about sustainability, is a new finding we made. Actually, it wasn't that present in Denmark, but we have a lot of international people who answered the question, and they were actually out supporting their local produce. So they were out buying directly from farmers because the supply chain completely changed during Corona. Yeah, so that was also a big finding, to buy local foods. So that's the white milk.
Yeah, I know you just talked about geography. Is this a Danish picture you've drawn, or is it European, global?
It's a European one. I have to say that we're not researchers at all. We are designers, so we get inspired by what we find, and not like researchers are completely connected to. So we had a survey on our Instagram profile, which has a lot of followers, mainly young people interested in food, I would guess, because we're foodies. And then we had a bit more than 250 answers divided in all European countries, more or less.
Okay, so these are trends from Instagram and not research in the traditional understanding. Well,
yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Lærke.
Thank you.
Let's move on and take care of the door. There's 2 stairs here. I'm gonna visit Simon, or Simon. He's out here. Hello, Simon.
Hello.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to expand our language in food, because what I've been also hearing these couple of days is that we got a saying about what taste is, but what taste is really. And I had myself a big exciting moment a few years ago when I was teaching some kids about taste.
You're a chef?
I'm a chef. I'm working in different top restaurants and Michelin restaurants in both Denmark and France. And when I was teaching these kids, we were having an exercise where I told them, now I'll be from the moon and you will tell me how an apple tastes. And it tastes good, and that's often the answer. But what also happened was that when we took one sense at the time, then they came up with extraordinary contributions about how an apple looked like, or how now I brought a corn, and how does a corn look like, and how does it smell, and how in particular how does it sound. Because when you chew into some foods, it will contain.
Let's have some sound of the corn.
Just taking the skin off. But when you chew into the corn, then the back of the tooth will be crushing some exploding cells. So, and that exploding cell will.
Can we try?
Yes. Yeah, please.
Can I try?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I really feel crunchiness, exploding cells, and also very good taste.
Yes, and the good thing is that this sound is in one melody or one tone at the beginning, and the tone changes because we will have to mix this corn with some of the juices from inside of our mouths.
Yeah.
So food will become a little melody, not a big symphony or big music, but so instead of following the sound of music, and they can follow the sound of music in meals, or follow the sound of meals, and then this can bring a big diversity into what you eat, because different plants got different sounds, and if you start to appreciate these sounds, then you'll be able to enjoy a big variety of plants.
Are there some sounds or melodies that are better than others?
I'm not wise enough for that. I'm just a cook.
What do you think?
No, I enjoy the diversity of sounds, and therefore the diversity of plants.
And how do the kids respond to that?
They are curious, and I had some extraordinary tales about it sound like going into the forest in an autumn, because when you chew on leaves that have been fallen down from trees, they make a little crush, and when you chew on a stick, that makes a little higher crush, and it's also just like corn or like apples. Apples is like the skin and the flesh of the apple have two different sounds. So I hope that the people who are watching, that they will start enjoying the sound of meals, and start to explore the sense of what tastes really are, because I've just written a book in Danish, of course, where it's about sense. It's called Sense, and it's about how we use our 5 basic senses. The little discussion about how many senses do we got, but if you keep to the 5, most people can agree. And they're equally important when we eat. So the sound of the meal is just as important as the taste, and the basic taste is as the smell, as how does it look, how is the color and the forms and the flavors.
And what is the sustainability aspect of this?
The sustainability aspect is that for not I have to think. Okay, for if we want to create a world where our kids and our grandkids can grow up, then I would love to let them grow up in a world that's alive. Mm-hmm. We both got a climate crisis. We also got a biodiversity crisis. And if you want our kids and our grandkids and those kids and grandkids to grow up in a living world, then we should also consider how could we be alive in the flavors? How can taste be alive? And it could be alive if you start being aware of what taste is, instead of just talking about taste as something that.
And the sound of the taste.
Yeah. So start to put some of your awareness into the sound of meals.
Will do. Yeah. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Have your lunch this way.
Yeah. Try just talking to each other and expand your language in how food tastes. Because if you start discussing it with each other, how does it really taste? It tastes good. Yes, it tastes bad. You can say that as well. But the important thing is to say, why does this taste good and why does this taste bad? And if you have nobody to talk to while eating, then start just talking a little to yourself. Why is actually this tasting good?
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Right, let's move on. Next one is a few steps away. I'm sorry for talking again with corn in my mouth. This showcase is called Broaden Your Taste for the Future, and it's by 2 Dutch food designers named Linde Hofmann and Daniel Naafs. And actually I have a volunteer that I'm waiting for who should try it out with me. But I'll just start by talking to these 2 lovely ladies over here. Yeah. Is this the starting point?
Yes, this is the starting point of the Ketchup speed dates. Yeah.
Hello, Linda.
Hello.
So you made a ketchup speed dating, and ketchup, of course, is because we all know ketchup no matter where in the world we are. So what do you want to do with the ketchup?
Well, we are trying to make the ketchup of the future. So we want it maybe more sustainable, maybe more healthy. So what is the ketchup of the future? And that's not a question that I can answer, but the question.
But this is advice for food innovators,
yes.
right?
Yes, that's the question.
Good. Let's. Can we try it out on our own, or could I take the
speed
tour with you?
It's a
or-
speed date, so you have to do it with the two of us. But we can do it together.
I'd be
And
love
then,
to.
Well, first of all, because we need to introduce something because we have an introduction of the game before we start.
Do it to
the
virtual
yeah.
audience out
Okay, yes. Hi there. Linda starts with the introduction.
So there is not such a thing as the future. The future doesn't exist. The future only exists in our assumptions about the future, and those assumptions are based on systems, on culture, on how we are raised about the future. So, but we are not aware of those assumptions. And if we just translate these assumptions to the future, we create a future that is based on the past, and that's what we don't want. So that's where this game is about.
Yeah, and then how do you play the game? So we have 3 different stages. In each stage, you get some questions you discuss with the other one. So it's a speed date, and you get possible, plausible, and a preferable future, and that's been posted put on the walls. And there are only 3 rules. You have to do this game with someone you haven't met before here, so completely new. You have to. We are all futurists, so there are only correct answers. And the third one is enjoy this ride, the ride for our future of food. So let's start.
That sounds great.
Maybe there is already somebody who wants to join, or otherwise we will do.
Yes. Let me just ask one question before we start.
Yeah.
Do you work this way with your students, or do you work as consultants?
Yeah, no, we do this with our students. We even tried this before with Korean students once they were here, all because we wanted to test it. So we've tested it before, and this is a game for multiple disciplines. So it's not there is no one way. So this reveals, this reframes, and this rethinks the assumption we have in order to create that other new futures world.
Okay.
And then ketchup.
Let's dig in, Danielle.
Yeah. Let's start. Oh, maybe there is already somebody.
Yes, here is my friend Marie. You know Marie.
That's even better.
Yeah, you didn't get the introduction, so now I'm just throwing you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's even better, throwing in it. Open your minds and just start answering the questions and speed dating.
Okay, Marie, please.
Ready? Yeah, you have to take each part of this the table.
All right, but could you please point out? There's a lot of questions here.
Yeah,
could you
start
point
with
out
the
one?
last one. Just think of them.
But what we can just take one question. But it starts with what is ketchup, and we go through it. How do you eat ketchup? Where do you eat ketchup, and so forth.
And so the last is, what is according to you the probable future of ketchup? And shall I answer, or should you? Please. Okay, so the future of ketchup is it will be more healthy, hopefully, less sugar, but contain the same amount of umami flavor, and the texture is also quite good.
Yeah, okay. I agree. The spiciness, the savoriness of ketchup is what we need for the burgers and hot dogs and whatever we need. So let's...
Yeah, you can write it down.
Yeah.
Post it down here. Okay. So that's the agreement you have?
So,
summarize
sweetness, the same. Or less, that was less. The same was umami. And the same umami. And the same purpose, right? For burgers and so on.
Can I just allow me to move over to Marie?
Basically less sugar. That's the difference from today.
Yes. Okay.
So put it here.
Yeah. Go over to the next.
Next
Reframe.
is about reframing. Yes.
Yeah, so the reframing is about trends and developments. And we have picked one, but you can choose your own developments also. But try to find a development that you're not so familiar with. So like if you're in the health sector, choose one that's very technical. So choose one of them and then answer the question.
All right. There's a lot of longer questions like...
I have one.
Yes.
Development environment. As we're discussing at the conference, it should be more environmentally friendly.
Yes. Should we just read up the text for our viewers here? biodiversity is conditional. To have a healthy planet, we need all kinds of plants and animals. Due to mass production and global industry, we eat just one kind of ketchup. With only those few ingredients, year-round, not so biodiverse. So what does this mean for the future of ketchup? So that's the question.
Okay.
Well, you're a scientist, Marie. I'm just an eater.
Yeah, well. So you expect me to have an answer, I suppose.
Well, do you expect us to answer the question, or what should we do about it?
Just open up your imagination.
Okay. So we're biodiversity.
And you are two of you, so it's a speed dating still. It doesn't matter, we all have an answer. So it's the scientist and the eater. So what do the scientist and eater say together if they look at this question?
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Well, can I start as an eater? When I'm thinking biodiversity and ketchup, my first thought is that I don't really eat that much ketchup. I only eat it with specific dishes, such as burgers and hot dogs. But if I like the texture, and I like the umami, and I also like that sweet, savory thing that you just pointed out at the beginning. So I could imagine it as a condiment. I guess that's also why we eat ketchup all over the world in different varieties. I'd like to try other kinds of ketchup from other kinds of the world, because I'd like to have more taste variety and also different ketchup for different dishes.
Yes.
That would be. I think that would be my first thought about this. What do you think?
I think that's also the way I would look at it. So if I would think you should make ketchup more biodiverse, I would think make more varieties of ketchup where you use more sustainable ingredients at the end of the day. So if you should substitute some of the ingredients that's not so biodiverse, you could do that and make one ketchup, or you could make a ranch according to your preferences, because it would maybe be different from the flavor you know as ketchup today, the ketchup you think of when you refer to ketchup. So then I think it would be great to have a ranch for different purposes and for different tastes, individual taste preferences. So
Yeah.
that's my take.
Thank you, Marie. Yeah.
Oh, there's not space on a small heart.
Yeah, but then try to get back to the essence.
Okay, so more varieties.
Yeah.
Keeping the sensory properties of the
Yes.
known one.
Yes.
Yes. What more? That's probably it.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Then it could be on the hot.
Super. Next questions.
The next questions.
And I think this one is really try to reframe that. What is the essence? Try to reframe that. What is the essence now? Now you've done these different steps. What is, according to you both, in this speeding, the essence of ketchup?
What's the essence of question? That's a really big question. Like, what's the meaning of ketchup? Yes. There's also another question. Why do we eat ketchup? Why on earth does ketchup exist? Well, it exists because it tastes very good. And that aligns with what you just said in the first beginning, and I guess that's also, we're curious about more varieties of ketchup. So the essence of ketchup is, it also has this kind of easy way of getting a good flavor in your dish. So pour ketchup on, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes you might do that if you're in a hurry, but it might also be true to realize that it's something that you can always grab, because we always have some kind of ketchup or condiment in the fridge or in the cupboard. So the essence is to have some kind of quick, instant good taste, isn't it?
I agree with you, and also you don't have to prepare it. It's already done. So it's like putting salt in the food. It gives flavor. You don't have to prepare anything. And on top of that, in relation to kids that very much appreciate ketchup often, it's familiar. So they're familiar with umami and sweetness, which they prefer, they like, but also they learn to like the taste very early, and then they take it through the whole with them
Actually,
through
my
childhood.
kids don't like ketchup, but
Okay,
anyway.
but I think that's not the average children you have. If I should guess, yeah. But I think so. So also the familiarity that you know this product.
Yeah.
That's an important factor. So it shouldn't be too diverse. What we talked about before.
For now, it's familiar.
Write that down, please.
Yeah.
Familiarity and instant satisfaction,
Yes.
meaning sweetness, umami, good texture, something that we know, right?
Yes, great.
Do you have something to add?
I think that's some good points.
Now you have broadened your view on ketchup, the future of ketchup, a little bit. So we didn't do all the questions, but some. But if you put all the answers of the questions together, then you have a much broader view on what the future of ketchup might be. So the last question is about your preferable future. So what is the preferable future according to you to ketchup?
Okay. This is the rethink part. Yes. Which question do you think we should choose?
Same.
Okay. From all of those different kinds of futures of ketchup, what is your preferred future of ketchup?
And it can be a new one.
Yes, okay.
Doesn't have to. It can be one of them.
Be previous ones.
But now I'm thinking about the sustainability perspective here, because we've been discussing this for a couple of days now. How does this compare?
My take would be less sugar, because that's a main problem with ketchup. I know it's not directly on the sustainability agenda, but health is also part of that, the human health. And then I would go through as a scientist the ingredient list to see what can we improve, but I don't have that ready in mind. So I wouldn't be able to pick up on one ingredient readily, but my take would be to look that through and see if there's something you could improve in regards to whether it's imported from China or it's been produced in a way that requires a lot of resources.
Okay.
And may I ask, and what does the eater say? She is the scientist, and you are here in your role as an eater. So, what is the common ground you have from a perspective of an eater?
Well, I guess we're both eaters. We're also both mothers. We have been talking about this time perspective a lot during these last 2 days. But ketchup is something that is, I can't help thinking it's good to have in your cupboard, because it's an easy way of making something taste good, even if you have only maybe 1-2 ingredients. Maybe if you only have rice or whatever, you can. Every student knows that you can put ketchup on your rice and then it tastes better. But my preferred would be to have just a little more like attention, maybe the melody that Simon was talking about a couple of minutes ago. You were not there, but sorry. But to have some more excitement about ketchup, something that I didn't really expect. It's kind of familiar, but it also presents something new to me. I would like that as an eater.
Yeah. I also thought while we were talking that actually ketchup is preserved so well, so it can stay for a long time. So it's not basis for food waste. I think it can last for a year or something. I just say something now. I haven't looked at it, but so I think it's not really an issue. It's not a product that's on top of the products that leads to issues in regards to sustainability. But my preferred future would therefore be regarding the health of ketchup, because that's a problem with ketchup.
Yes,
which I think is important to work on, because it's eaten so worldwide and in so large quantities. So working on that and then maintaining the good taste, that is very important, I think.
Yes. Otherwise, we won't buy it and we won't eat it.
Yeah, and we don't need to compromise. If we do need to compromise, but if we compromise too much with taste, we won't accept it, and we just go back to our normal routines and what we used to do.
Yes. Okay, let's.
Time to write it down.
Yeah.
Because this is your preferred future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Writing often makes it easier.
Familiarity, but also
More sustainable.
yes. and something that satisfied my curiosity for. Yes, good taste.
Good taste and healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Thank you for that, Marie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think you have more guests now.
It's one little. So now you are a little bit more future literate about ketchup, but this methodology is usable for every product, every food that you can imagine, and it's called future literacy, and it's not developed by us. This theory about it, but it's about it's developed by Real Miller. So I think that's important that the white person gets a recognition about the theory.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And time is running, but you can make the last showcase here. I will not show you, but you can try yourself. It's called Burgerness and Power, and it's about beef farrell. It was the one where you had to collect the ingredients, and it runs every 20 minutes. I believe there's one of them is coming up soon. So it's a sensory mirrored performance. Sounds cool. I'll say goodbye now, and you can check into Dialogue and Showcases and find this showcase. And coming up next is the next main session. It's at 2:30, and it's back on the stage signal. But for now, enjoy. Bye. Thank you.